for sure. The EP is coming in Q1, and it is, yeah, it's about being queer and being me and being black as hell.
Hey everybody, my name is Kyle Price, as you already know, and we are back here with the quintessential gentleman. I have a very, very special guest, Mr. Daniel Kyrie. How are you feeling today?
I am good, just so you know. It is pronounced Daniel Kyrie.
Kyrie. See, I was working on pronunciation like the whole week, and now I asked you Kyrie, excuse me.
Yeah.
But we are in the middle of your new season of Chicago, Chicago Fire, which is in the 13th season. It debuted September 25th, so we're in the midst of everything. How are you feeling about the new season and how people are receiving it?
Pretty great. I think season 13, we've been on the air for a while, and I've been, a part of the show now for when did I get here? Season 7. So a long time.
Good amount of time.
But the great thing about it in our writers' room and the show that we have is, we keep finding ways to bring people back and new and interesting dynamics within the firehouse. And a lot of that is on display this season in particular, because there have been, from last season to now, a lot of changes and a lot of shifts, personnel and otherwise. And so we're getting to see fresh dynamics at play, which it's so far have been, really interesting and great for audiences tuning in. So, I think we're off to a really good start, and we have a lot more in store. We've only aired about 6 episodes so far, and we're X amount ahead. And so I
Wow.
know that there's some twists and turns coming up that audience members are gonna either really enjoy or really
You
be
just
disappointed
you
by
just
it.
never
Yeah.
know. But they really enjoy you because you're a fan favorite of the show. How does that feel to be such a part of integral part of the cast?
I mean, it feels amazing. It's always really great, when your work is received uh in a positive way by anyone. I think that, that is usually a testament to the amount of time that you spent honing, your craft or your skills. And so that in itself feels, really validating. And it's a really fun job. And I get to have fun at work. I get to have fun in my work.
Mhm.
And I'm really happy that the people watching are really responding to that. The joy and the enthusiasm, I think, is a direct reflection of our work environment and our work ethic. So I'm very grateful that I can be in a position like that.
And you're a Chicago native too, so that has to feel extra street sweet, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I'm born and raised Chicago boy from the South Side.
Okay.
Would be at my Gmail's house, at her apartment on the South Side, and we would, I'd be watching TV, and when I was younger, I would just envision myself being a part of those stories a lot, like a lot. Like I was an avid reader, you know what I mean? I watched a lot of TV. My imagination was constantly being stimulated by what I was seeing and interacting with. And the best part about my imagination is I was always able to put myself in the story. Say
Oh,
what you will about that, you know
yeah.
what I mean? But I think now to have the opportunity to actually be that and represent that as a Chicagoan is really special.
That's nice. And so, since you are a Chicago native and this is a Chicago-based show, like how much of your own personal experiences do you put into the character? Do you just like get your lines and be like, you know what? Yeah, he would say that, or no, he wouldn't say that, or like, adding your special nuances into the role.
I think a lot of times, specifically with the words, my job a lot of the time is to take, the writers have given us, and this is the part that is collaboration, right? You take what they've put down on the page and you find nuance, or you breathe a little bit of life into it. And sometimes those things come from personal experience, and sometimes, I just have this thing called imagination.
Okay, as we were
So,
just talking about.
and so if there are any areas that, can't necessarily be fueled by lived experience sometimes, which sometimes is really the case, I think we have as humans the gift of observation. We have ability to listen, to see, and I think a lot of the times those are the elements, the things that we encounter or see from all around us in our environment help fuel our imagination, and that is really the garden that you can harvest from when you're filling in the blanks. And so that's what my job primarily is. And so to answer your question, I think yes, sometimes, and other times, I just let the writing will always tell you what it wants from you. And so sometimes I let it do that.
And you just become a vessel for the character. So it's like,
I am a vessel. I am a channel.
mhm, a
I
master manifester too, because you
yeah.
handle this in your mind.
I am my ancestors' wildest dreams, like all of
Yes.
that.
Love that. And then also another important factor for your character, he's an openly black gay man. Like, how important is that for you to portray on the show, on a mainstream show such as yours?
I think it's incredible. I get to take a character
Mhm,
um, who I believe historically in media is usually relegated to sideline or margin.
mhm,
And the work that I do personally as an actor that I bring to the show is I get to centralize my character and his point of view, and I get to move that to the heart of the narrative.
mhm,
And that is more than anything else what I feel like my job is. In every script there is an opportunity, I feel like, to make my character's presence and opinions and thoughts as clear as I possibly can, to aid in this work of representation, right? Because no matter what I'm given or what I have to work with, um, I'm gonna shine regardless. So,
I mean, I'm gonna be out there regardless of whatever you throw at me. But no, that's amazing. And I think to your point, like gay characters, especially gay black characters, have been relegated to sidekicks or like, they're one dimensional. And you being able to flesh out your character and it be a fan favorite, and then you being a native of Chicago is like the purest form of authenticity and just, just telling your story and expanding on your ability. So I think that's amazing that you're able to do that and represent in your truest form.
thank you.
You're welcome. And then I also saw your press pictures too. I was like, oh, you're taking it. Like you're you're taking it. You're going there, like you're going fully into it. So that actually brings me to my next point. You're also going into music too. So you
Mhm.
had some new music released this year. Tell us about like the projects that you have released so far and what you have going on in the future.
Sure. Yeah, my first love is literature. And then I found myself a lot in music, and I really fell in love with it. And I fell in love with, I think, some things that might be a little atypical for someone of my age, or maybe not, you tell me. I remember uh falling in love with like Nina Simone, and falling in love with like Stevie Wonder, and falling just, these artists that they are legends and legendary, of course. And so we all know, and also falling head over heels for like Motown. And
Mhm,
not to say that, my music is, any of these things, but it certainly is influenced by the legacy of Black American music.
mhm,
And the things what literature that I found, poetry, Langston Hughes and Maya Angelou, and these musicians and these and great actors that I follow, what they all have in common is their ability to tell a story.
mhm,
And so first and foremost, my love for music, it comes from that. I love hearing a new song, whether it's pop, R&B, or gospel, or rap, hip hop. The When you get to that sweet spot in the music
Mhm.
where the sonic like world that you're in, right? The instruments that an artist chooses and what they do texturally when you're listening to them, their lyrical capabilities, their ability to really paint a picture, the tone of their voice, like all of these like elements, it feels so like stepping into a world, a first person like narrative off of the page or whatever, and then there's an immersion that happens.
Mhm.
And that is what I aspire to.
I'll take
So,
answer your question.
that's what I want. I can only hope that one day I'll be able to do that for someone listening to one of my songs. And so anyway, this year
Mhm.
I've been working on music privately for maybe the better part of 2 years, almost 3 years. Um, I decided that I'm going to release, and I released the first song, Dreamland Avenue, which as a Chicago boy for me felt like a really great debut. Just because, and it was the summertime already. And summertime Chicago is one of the most magical.
I've heard. I
You,
haven't experienced it yet. I need to like get out there next summer.
you absolutely do. I do need you to stop sleeping on that. Like listen, 2 years ago, maybe, my first time going overseas, and I experienced Paris and I experienced like Greece, and I loved like the cultural experiences I was able to have. And also I didn't go anywhere this past summer except just like my hometown, Chicago, and just was a tourist in my own city again. And there's art and music and culture, and it's so vibrant and it's so beautiful. And when it warms up, the way that people take to the streets here is just, it's so totally, it's so full. And I wanted to capture some of that with Dreamland Avenue. It's about like getting high, getting head, getting out, like getting, you know what I mean? Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
it really is like it's like summer fling, like doing your thing, like you know what I mean. And what I love about that is as a queer Black man being able to tell that story is I
Mhm.
get to do it without any shame. I get to do it with just being like, yeah, this is how I've spent many a summer in Chicago, getting into shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? That Lakeshore Drive, late night, 3 a.m. cruise with the windows down, blasting music, and you can like look over and you see Navy Pier and the lake, and the neighborhoods are changing on your left, and that vibe. And I'm on my way to like a hookup, or I'm on my way to a party, or I'm on my way to a smoke sesh or a kickback or a writing sesh or a jam sesh or whatever. And Dreamland Avenue for me was a really fun, like not heavy, just like way to express in that way and to tell that story. And I had so much fun doing it. I got to do it in my community. And then my next single, maybe I just released about a month ago,
Mhm.
um, the day after my birthday, on a National Coming Out Day.
Happy belated.
Thank you, Libra.
You
And that one was, when I started my journey of songwriting, I had just come out of a really toxic relationship.
Mhm.
And maybe is really about that sort of in between place, where you know that it isn't working, but something in you is still pushing for it or fighting for it. Um,
Mhm.
and it ultimately is about two Black men both trying to understand and learn how to love themselves and each other. I think that one of the biggest failures in our world and in our communities is we are not taught how to love other Black men.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, we're not really taught how to love ourselves. And so I really wanted to talk about how that shows up in a romantic relationship between two Black men. And that one didn't end well, and it didn't go well.
Que
Uh,
sera, sera.
Say again?
Say que sera, sera. Things
Yeah,
happen.
totally, totally. And maybe was born from that. So those are the two music projects that I dropped, and also the maybe has a visual element to it as well. That helps to further dive into that story a little bit. Which I loved. I loved shooting. I got to work with VAM Studio out in LA, and I got to work with my brother, Victor Musoni, who's a choreographer, brilliant choreographer and actor based here in Chicago. And I just got to bring community together and create something that was real and honest and authentically reflected what it is like or what it can be like in a Black queer relationship, the good and the bad, right? The pretty and the ugly, because that is the actual full expression and full range of my humanity. And I wanted to be honest about that and vulnerable in that. And so the last part of the question, what that you have there's more where that came from. Am planning on within the first quarter of next year, I'm releasing my EP project, Q1.
One. All right,
Uh,
yes, get right to it.
I'm releasing my first multi-song project. Um, I've been calling it an EP, but I low-key want to call it like a little mixtape. We'll see.
After the EP, you want the mixtape?
Yeah, so we'll
Oh, okay,
see.
okay.
But for sure, the EP is coming in Q1, and yeah, it's about being queer and being me and being black as hell.
Right.
And there'll be some fun stuff in there, and there'll be some stuff that's a little heavier, and I'm excited about that.
So we're getting the full experience of your musical taste, of your manifestation powers. You bringing everything to life. So I love it because, and I also love the way that you're lighting up talking about your music too. Like, because that means you're really behind the sound. You're being intentional and you're being yourself. Like that's something that I feel like more artists should be doing and fully expressive in their whole journey of whatever they're bringing to life. So
Mhm.
as 2025 is about to come, we know you have music coming. We know you're in the midst of a television show. What else would you personally like to bring to life and express yourself fully in 2025?
That's a great question. You know, there's so much happening. There really is so much happening, and I think I have goals like all of us do, and I think that plans have to shift in times like this. And the main thing that I feel that is through to me from the universe is bravery and courage and just initiative. And so I have done a lot with my time on the show and in my artistic career so far. I've done theater, I've written and produced, executive produced, I've directed, I've acted, I sing, and I think it's just about taking all of my little multi hyphenates and doing what I can to move the needle in the direction that I feel it needs to go. And I am from the school of artists and the school of thought, um, where I think an artistic practice is directly correlated with activism.
Mhm.
And so for me, I've never fully been able to separate out the two. And I don't think that's what my purpose is. I think my purpose is actually, to continue to be bold and to be radical and to populate our screens and our airways with the kinds of stories that might engender empathy from our greater global community as much as possible. And so, maybe that's a little vague, but I think that's okay because in a lot of ways, I'm still figuring it out. I think a lot of people are figuring out a lot of things in our current political climate. And, I think what's most important is I can't stop and I have to look around me and I have to listen closely and I have to see where my voice can be most of service. So, yes, I've got music coming out. Yes, I'm on the show. Those are all great things. And also, I think that what my greater purpose for next year is going to continue to be clarified with the remainder of the time that I have in this year and in the present moment. And
Mm.
I'm looking forward to sitting with myself and understanding and learning what those things are.
Well, it seems like you're on the right track. Like you made me a believer in one interview, so I can only imagine 2025 being great for you. But thank you so much for joining me today. Let everybody know where we can find you, where we can follow you, where we can stream the music, like everything you want to get out there. Let us know.
Absolutely. I am at Daniel Kyrie, DanielKyri, all one word across all social media platforms, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, anywhere you can think of. I'm at Daniel Kyrie, and Daniel Kyrie is also my artist name across all of the music streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, SoundCloud, wherever music is, that's where you'll find me.
Right. Thank you so much for joining me again. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you so much.